Welcome to another interesting edition of the program Service to Humanity, your window into the activities of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development as it carries out its mandate. I am Kauthar Anumba Halil, standing in for your regular anchor. A couple of weeks ago, we started a special review series around milestone achievements of the Humanitarian Ministry to measure the impact and successes of the ministry as it delivers on the objectives of its establishment. Tonight, Service to Humanity continues with the review, and our focus will be, amongst other things, the actions and interactions of the ministry with older persons and those with disabilities. We shall see the eventual establishment of the two youngest agencies under the ministry's purview and other activities along this line. After that, we shall be looking at the NPower and tech training of youths in Abuja. This time, our focus is on welding fabrication and auto mechanics. Join me after the break for the full program. Please stay tuned.
I tell you, anytime we're not producing, the fish farmers suffer. The people we engage suffer. The people we feed, that we give our fish heads to, they feel it. I'll only beg the government to continue with this and make it run more.
We used to have children crying, parents will be chasing them to come to school, and they will be at the gate, they will be crying, they will hold on to the plate, they will not want to come into the gate.
When they are not giving the food, the attendance was very low.
Now the children are always fit and healthy because of the food they eat.
To make them attend class every day.
I eat rice, plates and carrots.
I want to use this opportunity to thank the federal government for the feeding program.
Glad to have you back. The program begins with a management diary where we bring you news on recent happenings in the Humanitarian Ministry as well as from her agencies. In the news, Senate passes National Social Investment Agency bill. These and more coming your way shortly. Please stay tuned.
Those in favor of the motion that this bill be now read the third time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
The National Social Investment Program Agency Establishment Bill 2023 has been passed by the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This was on Wednesday, the 29th of March 2023. The agency, when established, will give legal backing to the various interventions under the NCIP, like the NPower, DEEP, etc., making their implementation more transparent, accountable, and impactful. Presenting a report on the bill, Chairman of the Committee on Special Duties that worked on the bill, Senator Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf, acknowledged the robust support from stakeholders during the public hearing on the bill. He also highlighted the importance of the agency when established.
The importance of passing this bill to the Senate in particular, and the Federal Republic of Nigeria in general, cannot be overemphasized. This is because when passed into law, the Act will be counted among the legacy legislations passed by the 9th Senate, in line with its people-focused agenda. Furthermore, the agency will ensure more equitable distribution of resources to the vulnerable population, including youth, women, persons with disabilities, and vulnerable senior citizens.
Following the presentation, the Senate considered the various clauses of the bill, after which it passed third reading. Senate President Ahmed Lawan, while commenting on the passage of the bill, congratulated the 9th Senate for a job well done and expressed assurance of a swift approval by the President.
I'm sure Mr. President will sign this the day it will arrive at the villa. Because no administration previously ever spent the kind of resources this Muhammadu Buhari administration has so far spent on alleviating poverty through the intervention of the National Social Investment. And therefore, there won't be any delay in signing or assenting to this bill, and this will be one of our legacies as well as the legacy of the Buhari administration.
As part of efforts to create conditions for refugees and IDPs to return to their homes and farms, the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has entered into partnership with the Geneva International Center for Humanitarian Demining, GICHD. The partnership will see to GICHD providing technical support for a humanitarian approach to the process of demining affected areas in the Northeast. These will involve the physical removal or deactivation of abandoned mines, explosive remnants of war (ERW), and improvised explosive device (IEDs) to protect civilians from their indiscriminate effects, facilitate a return to ordinary civilian life, and, where applicable, ensure the delivery of humanitarian aid. Aligning itself with this approach, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, while addressing a three-man delegation from GICHD on the 28th of March 2023 at the Ministry's Conference Hall in Abuja, stated that the National Humanitarian Mine Actions Committee was inaugurated in October 2022 on the instruction of President Muhammadu Buhari and has been established as an inter-ministerial multi-agency civilian-led committee that will be responsible for the overall coordination, control, and priority setting of mine actions in Nigeria. The minister, who spoke through the permanent secretary of the ministry, requested the GICHD to assist in technical support, advice, capacity building, and also bring the National Humanitarian Mine Actions Committee to the attention of donors. On its part, the GICHD, speaking through the leader of the delegation, Mr. Valon Kumnova, stated its readiness to partner with the ministry to provide technical support towards helping the ministry eradicate problems of mine action in Nigeria. The federal government of Nigeria is committed towards the improvement of social work in the country. This much was revealed by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Dr. Nasir Sani Gwarzo, during a courtesy visit by the Nigeria Association of Social Workers in Abuja. Gwarzo said everything the ministry is doing is anchored by social workers and called on the association to partner with the ministry to make social work easier, more successful and sustainable in the country. While charging the association to be strategically bold and align their operations with the ministry's activities in social services delivery, the permanent secretary called on the president of the association to come up with a very ambitious and practicable action plan, as well as set a target for Nigeria. Earlier in his remarks, President of the Nigeria Association of Social Workers, Alhaji Mashood Mustafa, stated that they were in the ministry to celebrate Social Workers' Day, being a global event to recognize the social services across the globe and the great efforts social workers are making towards improvement of humanity. He said the theme for this year is respecting diversity through joint social action. Alhaji Mashood Mustafa thanked the ministry for what they have been doing in improving humanity through its various social programs.
Welcome back. Since its creation, the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has been at the forefront of developing humanitarian policies, coordinating national and international humanitarian interventions, and fighting poverty, amongst others, all in its drive to help in actualizing President Buhari's agenda of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty by the year 2030. As we continue our special review series around the successes and achievements of the Humanitarian Ministry tonight, we shall be looking at the ministry's response to persons with disabilities, as well as older persons, leading to the establishment of the National Senior Citizens Center and the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. These two agencies stand as a testimony to the ministry's commitment to the plight of the vulnerable. Let's have that review.
Representative
Ensuring the effective care, development and eventual integration of persons with disabilities, PWDs, into the mainstream of the Nigerian society is a major thrust of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. Since its inception in 2019, the ministry has continually organized events and trainings to see that these special persons contribute their quota to the economic, social and political development of the country. In line with this, the ministry has continued to mark the International Day of PWDs every 3rd of December. During the year 2020 celebration, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farooq, expressed gratitude to President Muhammadu Buhari for the establishment of the National Commission of Persons with Disabilities, an instrument which she says is in the right direction. During the year 2020 celebration, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farooq, expressed gratitude to President Muhammadu Buhari for the establishment of the National Commission of Persons with Disabilities, an instrument which she says is in the right direction in addressing the plight of PWDs.
This act provides for the full integration of persons with disabilities into the society and the creation of National Commission for Persons with Disabilities that will be vested with the responsibilities for the education, health, social, economic and civil rights of all PWDs. I recall vividly that on this day last year, as mentioned by many of you, I promised the persons with disabilities community that I was going to work towards Mr. President's approval of the appointment of board members of the National Commission for PWDs to commence their duties in addressing the issues affecting the special needs before this year's celebration, of which Mr. President has graciously done.
In addition to this success, Sadiya Umar Farooq outlined several initiatives of the ministry to help in the integration and mainstreaming of PWDs into society, to include provision of palliatives during the pandemic, skills acquisition training, stepped-down training for caregivers of children with special needs, collaborations for the local fabrication of assistive devices, adoption of a community-based development approach to disability issues in Nigeria.
This approach places emphasis at the community level where most persons with disabilities reside. This further guarantees the maximization of the abilities of PWDs and makes them active contributors to leadership and national development.
The 2021 Day for Persons with Disability, PWDs, was commemorated with the first National Disability Summit. According to the Executive Secretary of the Commission, the summit is intended to bring together the best of the best among persons with disabilities in Nigeria to show that there is ability in this ability. He thanked President Muhammadu Buhari for his support for persons with disabilities, describing the president as the most disability-friendly president in the history of Nigeria, and the minister as Maman Talakawa, meaning mother to the poor in Hausa.
We want to appreciate His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, who happened to be the most disability-friendly president in the history of Nigeria. We will always say it everywhere, that since the amalgamation of Nigeria in 1914, we have never found any president that is so disability-friendly like His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari.
Stakeholders in the affairs of PWDs, especially the minister, declared their support to their plight while acknowledging that there is ability in this ability.
We will remember our sportswomen and men at the recent Paralympics held in Korea did exceptionally well with several gold medals and other awards in many categories. a feat that puts the nation's flag at an enviable state. This has no doubt proven the strength that abounds in the disability community.
Since inception in August 2019, my ministry has worked assiduously to ensure the inclusion of persons with disabilities in all our programs and interventions. I must reiterate that none of us will be gathered here to observe this day and the success the Commission has achieved if not for the acknowledgement of this present administration of His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari for assenting to the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act and also establishing the Commission of National Commission for Persons with Disabilities and appointing the Executive Secretary and the Chairman and Board members for the full commencement of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
The ministry has continued to show its support for the Disability Commission through various activities. In 2021, the minister commissioned the Disability Complex in Abuja alongside the National Disability Electronic Certificate Production Center. The minister, while there, also launched a mini Braille printing center, as well as a National Disability Data Processing Center and 2 operational vehicles to improve mobility and productivity of the Commission. The activities of the ministry to give persons with disability their recognition by society has been roundly commended, especially by the disability community. Some of them who spoke during the 2021 International Day of PWDs were quite hopeful of better days to come.
It has been wonderful. The community of persons with disabilities have not seen this kind of attention that we are getting today from creating the National Commission for Persons with Disability to the Minister of Humanitarian gracing the occasion, and another minister, a very high-ranking minister, Honorable George Akume, being highly represented, not to talk about the police and all the other agencies coming to talk, giving wonderful goodwill messages, telling us what they are going to do going forward. We are just beside ourselves with joy. Today is actually our day, and we cannot stop celebrating.
In the same vein, the ministry has continued to make sure that elderly persons in the society are accorded respect and treated with dignity. Its identification with the needs of the aged in society saw to the establishment of the National Senior Citizens Center, with a mandate to identify the needs of senior citizens and to cater for them. It is the first distinct national corporate body with focus on social inclusion of senior citizens for sustainable development and the improvement of the quality of living and well-being for self-fulfillment.
In so many thematic areas, older persons have been excluded. So that is number one critical challenge, ageism. The attitude towards older people, that they are not the right holders, that because they are old, therefore any investment in them is a waste. Because they are old, why are you bothering with health insurance? Shouldn't they die off? Haven't they spent, their time and then because they are old, you see investment in older persons as though you are cheating younger people.
By Thursday, the 20th of July 2022, when the National Senior Citizens Center marked 365 days since its establishment, it marked the day with the official opening of its head office in Abuja to strengthen its operations and enhance mandate delivery. Wednesday, 5th October 2022, saw the center marking the maiden edition of the Nigerian Day for Senior Citizens with an awareness road walk from the old parade ground in Abuja.
We are here because this present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari heeded the call of senior citizens at our first maiden dialogue knowing that the International Day of Older Persons, which we usually celebrate, really clashes and obliterates the significance of the International Day of Older Persons, which is October 1st. So that prayer was made, and today we are celebrating the maiden edition, first edition of Nigeria dedicating October 5th as National Day of Older Persons.
A society that neglects or forgets its older citizens is practically going nowhere, because these older citizens are the foundations of every society. They lay the groundwork.
More recently, the NSCC on Tuesday, 31st January 2022, launched its strategic roadmap on aging 2022 to 2032 and the National Action Plan on Aging in Nigeria and Project Activities 2021 to 2025 in Abuja. This is in line with federal government's efforts to accelerate social inclusion and improve the overall quality of life of older persons in Nigeria. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, represented by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Humanitarian Affairs, Musa Bungudu, stated the need for an action plan for the NSCC.
The NSCC has started on a sound footing by providing an outline of steps designed with the goals of the entire organization. By the strategic document to be launched today, all measures to be taken to provide a broad picture of what must be achieved have been identified.
Thanks for staying tuned. Nigerian youths from various parts of the country continue to receive trainings on various skills under the End Skill and Knowledge programs through centers located across all 6 geopolitical zones of the country. The Service to Humanity crew was in Otako, where one of the centers of the North Central Zone is located, to cover activities of trainings on fabrication and metalworks, as well as auto mechanics. Let's see how the training went.
This particular iron, it's a normal iron that it's good for electric welding.
Arriving at the Department of Science and Technology, Utako, Abuja, we met the beneficiaries of the welding and fabrication and auto mechanic, having series of revisions on what they have been taught. According to the center manager and trainer Abdul Malik Sadiq, the training has recorded tremendous success, and areas the beneficiaries were trained on include entrepreneurship, life skills, customer service, among others. He speaks to us on the performance of the beneficiaries and their welfare at the center.
I really commend them because they seize this as an huge opportunity and they make use of it. They are very serious and they comply with whatever we tell them.
Sadiq spoke of the importance of the program to the beneficiaries and the nation at large.
This will go along in their life because this is a life skill for them. You understand? The skill they acquire here, it's very important in their life and it will contribute to the growth of this country.
With so much excitement, the beneficiaries took time to show us some of what they have learned and some items they have created. Some of them shared their thoughts on the program and experience at the training.
I sell food and I'm a farmer. After learning this work, I intend to go back home and open a shop.
I would like to thank His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari and the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster and Management Development, the person of Sadia Umar Farouk. I would like to thank them for this program that they acquired for us, because it really helps Nigerian youth.
With that, we come to the end of this week's episode of Service to Humanity. Remember, your questions and suggestions are always welcome on any of our social media platforms or the ministry's page on Facebook or Twitter. Until I come your way again next week, stay safe, good night, and God bless Nigeria.